So I graduated from the MBA in 2015. And the reason I did it was because I came from a technical scientific background, and I found myself very quickly in the management side of various industries. I needed to get some education, skills, knowledge in how to manage people, how to grow organizations, how to lead people. And the MBA seemed like an obvious first protocol. The MBA, I think, is in a class of its own when it comes to the work you need to put in, but the rewards you get out. I think people going into this program need to understand that there is an expectation that there will be a lot of coursework. You're going to need to factor that into your decision making because you have to have a supportive employer and a supportive family. Going in with both will make it a lot easier. There's a lot of work, but there's a lot of reward at the end. That the MBA is high intensity. Yes, it's still long, it's still 2 years, but it's obviously half the time of a doctorate. It's part-time, so there's that. But what I would say is it's kind of like if the doctorate is a marathon, the MBA is like maybe a 10,000 meter where you're going at a much higher pace, higher intensity. It's over quicker, but I would imagine you're just as tired at the end of it. I found that the lectures were very supportive in the sense of I found it to be almost facilitative of a class rather than a true lecture in a class. And it allowed discussion, debate, arguments from the lecturer's theories, I suppose, to the class, but also amongst the class. And then maybe the lecturers found themselves as referees sometimes in the debate and discussion between the class. And that's the real learning in an MBA. So I was from science, and in science you're taught it's black and it's white, there's a right and a wrong. And then you go into the world of humanities and it's all grey, and then you have to try and get your head around that. And I think that's where I struggled initially when I went from technical roles into management, people leadership roles. Because people aren't black and white, we're all grey. And those modules that I found the most beneficial were the ones that were the greyest, like marketing, like leadership, like organisational behaviour. Those ones where there is more than one right answer. But it's those modules that I suppose pushed my knowledge, got me to think differently. And when now I reflect back on James now versus James before the MBA, those modules are probably the greatest shifts in my mentality. The easiest thing in the world to do is put down the shutters and just kind of treat people the same. The hardest thing in the world to do is put down your biases, listen to people, reflect, and don't judge. And that's leadership. I always say chief executives' roles, we don't do the work. What we do is we work with people and they do the work. Your job is to motivate and encourage and to make sure the performance levels are there across the organization. That's your job. And the MBA has given me the tools and the techniques and the knowledge to put into practice against reality. I think the biggest advice you'd give to somebody is do your homework first. It's a big commitment to make. The second thing is talk to the lecturers out here and understand the support you get, because it's not as overwhelming as it might sound. So it is block release, and whilst that might sound a bit daunting to take 3 days out of your work week once a month for 8 months of the year, it doesn't really work out that way, because it allows you to plan well in advance. And it gives you that, I guess, that flexibility that you can come out of work. Forget about grades. Forget about your A's and your B's. It's not important. No one asks you about them. What it's all about is the learning. You're going to be in a room with very, very knowledgeable people who know their stuff. You're going to debate with your classmates who know their stuff. That's the real benefit of an MBA. So forget about the grades and just enjoy the journey.